news presented by Ayrece Stewart. Good morning, Ayrece.
Good morning, Sophie.
The headlines.
President Andry Rajoelina flees Madagascar to protect his life as nationwide protests escalate, and the army's elite CAPSAT unit announces it has taken control of the military. Mauritian businesses in Madagascar begin to feel the economic aftershocks of the unrest. New Mauritian innovation Rm1 allows patients to consult doctors online for artificial intelligence, secure digital prescriptions, and home delivery of medicines within 2 hours. Mauritius records a dramatic decline in birth rates, with figures showing a nearly 80% drop over the past 6 decades. In world news, Hamas releases all 20 surviving hostages in a ceasefire deal brokered by US President Donald Trump. And in sports news, Club M closes its FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifying campaign with a goalless draw against Libya. President Andry Rajoelina has fled Madagascar to protect his life amid nationwide protests which began late last month. Rajoelina confirmed in a live Facebook address on Monday that he had travelled to a safe location, following reports and rumours that he had been flown out of the country on Sunday, but dismissed calls to quit amid worsening unrest. Rajoelina had been due to give a television address on Monday afternoon, but the speech was delayed after a group of armed forces threatened to take control of the state-owned media. The president's reported departure came after army units defected on Saturday, with Rajoelina condemning the move as an attempt to seize power illegally and by force. Hours after his comments, the army's elite CAPSAT unit, which played an important role in first bringing Rajoelina to power in a 2009 coup, said it had taken control of the country's military. Earlier, it had announced that it would refuse orders to shoot demonstrators. And staying on this, Madagascar has been in political turmoil for nearly 3 weeks, a crisis now spreading beyond its borders. President Andry Rajoelina accuses the Gen Z-led movement of trying to seize power by force after an elite military unit joined protesters. Meanwhile, the arrival in Mauritius of former Prime Minister Christian Tse aboard a private jet has raised diplomatic tension, with acting Prime Minister Paul Béranger voicing frustration at the situation. Mauritian companies in Madagascar, meanwhile, like WorldNets, are already feeling the impact. Experts warn the unrest could disrupt regional trade links, as Dr. Sunil Boudou notes, and Jean-Claude Delestrac says Mauritius may have to step in to help restore stability. In 2024, trade between the two islands exceeded 9 billion rupees. Mauritians can now consult a doctor online without leaving home thanks to a new local innovation, Rm1. Launched this week, the web app uses artificial intelligence to connect patients with doctors registered at the Medical Council for just 1,150 rupees, consultation and medication delivery included. The service promises delivery within 2 hours and aims to reduce pressure on emergency services, says public health specialist Dr. Stefan Bach, who leads the project. After a successful pilot with over 1,100 respondents, Rm1 is now looking to expand to the Indian Ocean and Africa. And in other news, Mauritius is facing a gradual and worrying decline in its birth rate. In 60 years, the country's birth rate has fallen by nearly 80%. In the 1960s, there were over 40 births per 1,000 inhabitants. Today, in 2024, that number has dropped to around 9 births per 1,000, almost 5 times fewer than 6 decades ago, representing an overall 78% decrease in the birth rate. The slowdown is also reflected in absolute numbers. Previously, there were over 20,000 births per year. Now the figure has fallen below 13,000, a drop of more than 35% in total annual births. And it's 9:04. You're listening to Rm1, where we move to international news, where Hamas has freed all 20 surviving hostages it had been holding since October 7, 2023 on Monday as part of a ceasefire agreement brokered by US President Donald Trump. In return, Israel released 1,968 prisoners and detainees, mostly Palestinians, the prison service said. Hamas still holds the remains of 24 deceased hostages, which it had agreed to return to Israel as part of the ceasefire deal. Hamas is required to uphold the agreement and take the necessary steps to return all the deceased hostages, the Israeli Defense Forces said. during their unprecedented 2023 attack on Israel, which sparked the war in the Gaza Strip. Hamas-led militants abducted 251 people and took them to Gaza. And finally in sports, we end with the FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifications with the 10th and final qualifying match for the Africa zone. Last night, Club M drew 0-0 against Libya at the Côte d'Or Stadium as neither team were able to score. After 10 matches, Club M finishes in 5th place with 6 points, a performance that remains overall satisfactory according to the national coach. Countries that have already secured their place include Egypt, Cape Verde, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia and Ghana. And that's all from me this morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned now to the Intermediate playlist until 10 a.m.